Hi guys and welcome to Get Reviews and to this review of Spider-Man Homecoming. I saw this movie and what to tell you about it, guys. Well, after all those movies that Sony did, this is like a breath of fresh air, especially when it's so nicely connected to the Marvel universe now. It's awesome, guys. So, for this movie, I'm just going to say a few things. It's not really a lot to talk about here without spoiling anything. But first, let me just say that overall this movie is very fun, very interesting. I was very invested in the whole story the whole time. In Tom Holland as Peter Parker and Spider-Man. And I actually saw him as Spider-Man a lot more than I anticipated. So I'm very pleased in that direction. The way that things looked in the trailer were different in the movie. The interactions between him and Tony Stark were totally justified. Everything made perfect sense. So I was not irritated at all by what transpired between them. I mean, it was appropriate to the situation. How Tony Stark was, how he reacted, what he was doing. In the meantime, everything totally fit in with the whole universe. Tony Stark as a character and Peter Parker as a character, and especially when you know that he is 15 years old, he's not mature, he is just a kid. He really is. He is a very smart kid with a lot of potential, but he does things that a kid will love to do, a teen. So all made sense. And Michael Keaton as the Vulture was great, a bit cheesy. That was a thing that I was worried about, that he's going to be too cheesy, but in fact he was okay for the story. He fit in as a villain and in the story, and he was really powerful, really badass. And physically, Michael Keaton played this very, very, very well. Very menacing physically. He had the body language like a young man, pretty much. So, impressive performance. Marissa Tomei as Aunt May, lovely, great, charming, no problem. It's very funny how all men like crush on her. That's so funny and it's so realistic. And of course, everything about Spider-Man here was realistic, by the way. This for me was the most realistic Spider-Man movie ever. Like, ever. He struggles everything. That one thing that bothered me a bit was that he was a real badass and fought alongside the Avengers, in Civil War, and now here he was so like skittish, and he didn't really know what he was doing athletically wise. He was very sloppy in every way, and I get why, but when you know that all that happened in Civil War was before this, it kind of didn't make much sense, physically for him to be so awkward. Yeah, and everything about him was so unexperienced, because yes, he is unexperienced, but what we saw in Civil War was like a full-fledged Spider-Man. He was able to withstand the power of the Winter Soldier. He was stronger than him physically, fight with the Cap and everything, and now he was so sloppy. It's like this was 2 years ago. So that was the thing that kind of didn't connect. All the potential of the costume that Tony gave him was not fully realized. I don't want to get into spoilers, but yeah, you will see that there's kind of a disconnection, because what he used in Civil War is the same costume with the same functions as he did in the first half of this movie. Overall, guys, the movie was funny. It was serious enough, funny enough, serious enough. Great scenes overall, great Spider-Man stuff. This is how Spider-Man should be. It felt the most like Spider-Man, and it felt like you were reading a Spider-Man comic book. It was great from that aspect. It was also something, let's say, at the end of the movie that I was really, you can say disappointed about, but I'm going to talk about this in a separate spoiler section of this review. So, the negative thing about this movie is that all the Marvel movies, although this is, Sony movie as well, but all the Marvel movies, because it was done as a Marvel movie, like fully as a style, and the incorporation of the characters and everything was exactly like a Marvel movie. So as such, I kind of felt it was a lot like fast food. When I watched it, I was invested, I was worried, I was at the edge of my seat, everything that you can think of. But when the movie ended, I felt like I watched almost nothing. And when I got home, I forgot that I watched it. I forgot that I was at the movies. The only reason that I remember that I was is because it was almost midnight and I had to work out a bit so to catch up somehow and to go to bed as fast as possible. So to have a very short evening was the only thing that made me remember that I watched Spider-Man Homecoming. And I have the same issue with every single one of the Marvel movies. Not with the DC movies. I'm still vividly feel the Wonder Woman movie and remember it in my soul, but all the other Marvel movies, especially the newer ones, didn't make any imprint on me for some reason. I don't know what it is, because it's a great freaking movie. I mean, Spider-Man Homecoming, great movie, great pacing, love the characters, you know? So I don't know where that is coming from. Guys, basically that's it. I have to give the movie a score from 1 to 10. And I would say that the Spider-Man Homecoming is a Spider-Man movie. Definitely 9 out of 10. That is all I can say, guys. And as for the other thing, I really don't know where that is coming from, why those movies are not leaving any lasting impression on me. I have no idea, guys. But I enjoyed every minute of it. So it's kind of hard to complain about something that you can't really complain about, because you really can't. Tom Holland is the best Spider-Man ever for me, there's no better. So guys, that is it about the non-spoiler part. Now the spoilers, I'm just warning you, there is a minor spoilers here, but it's just, you know, something that happened at the end of the movie that really disappointed me, although I do get it. So spoilers, at the end of the movie, Tony wants to present Spider-Man to the press, and Gwyneth Paltrow is there as Pepper Potts, and that was so cool and amazing. I really love to see them, you know, back together as a couple. It just, I know, it's lovely. It's some kind of a nostalgia, I suppose, for them as a couple, as characters, but I really love that. And so Tony shows this amazing Spider-Man costume that is made from metal. I think it was made from metal. It kind of looked like it, I mean, yeah. So it reminded me of the Iron Man suit, but it was very, you know, fit exactly for Peter. Peter thought that that was a test and he declined. He so wanted to be officially with the Avengers, but he said no. Tony was very disappointed and I was super disappointed, and I'm pretty sure that this costume is somewhere in the future of Spider-Man. I really hope so, but I don't know how much years that is going to take. I don't know, guys. It's sad because I do know that maybe, yes, this is a definite yes, this will happen. He will get that costume, but maybe when he completely is Spider-Man. I get that he's not yet there as Spider-Man, but damn it, I really wanted him to get that costume and to wear it and to be with it. And I was expecting that shot, you know, he swing around the city. No, we didn't get that like the previous Spider-Man movies, because yeah, this has nothing to do with the previous movies, and the director and Marvel and Sony didn't want to repeat that sequence, I suppose. But anyway, guys, that's about it. And the end credit scene was, I mean, it wasn't substantial for me. The only thing that we found out that the Vulture didn't want to betray Peter, maybe because he was grateful that Peter saved his life, I don't know. Or he wanted to have him for himself and no one else when he somehow gets out of jail. But I doubt that we're going to get a continuation of that. This is not a TV series. We have to get another villains, not only him. Maybe he's going to make a cameo, you know, future movie, who knows. But I really didn't care about that. I want to see Spider-Man, something about him, not about the villain. I mean, nothing about any hero, just about the villain. I personally didn't like that. And then we had to wait through the whole freaking credits to see Captain America give us a speech. How annoying it is to wait for so long and to get so little. And that of course was like a parody to what we actually got, him speaking about this. So it was hilarious in that sense. But in the same way, damn, I wasted 10 minutes of my life to see, you know, Captain America make fun of the situation that we're sitting in the movie theater and waiting to see something, you know, more substantial as an end credit scene, and the only thing that we see is Captain America telling us about how disappointed we must feel. I mean, what is that? That's like, F you, audience. I mean, it's so hilarious. Can't you see how hilarious this is? But still, F you, audience, you know? So, yeah. Yeah, it's funny, but I don't want that joke to be on me, on the audience. That's how I felt about it. But guys, this is a movie that is great for the movie screen and maybe the best Spider-Man movie done to date in many many ways. I really love the Tobey Maguire first and second movie, but that movie with Tom Holland is just what Spider-Man is supposed to be. What I remembered from the cartoons as a feeling, what I remember from reading the comics, some of the comic books of Spider-Man. And of course, Stan Lee cameo was super great as a neighbor. That was hilarious. So yeah, guys, again, I don't know what that disconnection and imprint on me, what is lacking there, but those movies are great experiences. So no matter how lasting impression that leaves on you, I think that you'll definitely have tons and tons of fun because a lot of good ideas in terms of comedy and drama are put into this. A lot of super clever things, with so much talent put into this. So I think that it's a very quality movie, no matter the problem that I have with it, with the lasting imprint on me and all of those things. So guys, let me know what you think in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time with Gary G reviews. Check out the other channels down below and my social media stuff. Follow me on that and check out my t-shirt store. Until next time, bye bye guys.